I love this question. You didn't ask what's the best cornerback duo,
No.
what's the best sack duo.
Nope.
The defensive duo, and I'm going with the yin and the yang, and I'm going up to Minnesota. I'm going with Xavier Rhodes and Everson Griffin. I'm saying Xavier Rhodes, we talk about the best cornerbacks in the league, and this guy was voted 55th overall by the players and kind of gave one of these shrug emojis because he should be a top 10 guy. You ask around the league and what he did last year, Xavier Rhodes belongs in that conversation. Legacy-wise, might be Richard Sherman. Buzz-wise, Patrick Peterson. Swagger-wise, Jalen Ramsey. But who is the best cornerback in 2017? It was Xavier Rhodes. Look at the numbers. A.J. Green went 2 for 30 against him. Antonio Brown, 5 for 62. Julio Jones, 2 for 24. Mike Evans only had 7 catches, less than 100 yards.
Not good.
Shut all these guys down. They're the number 1 defense in the league. And then give me a combination with him. Who's his guy? Well, you could say Harrison Smith's the best safety. You could say, well, they also have Anthony Barr, a great linebacker. I'm going with Everson Griffin. That is the luxury that this team has. They are so loaded on defense. It could have been a mix and match of any of them. They're the number 1 defense. Everson Griffin, maybe the most underrated player in the sport. 3 consecutive Pro Bowls. Had 13 sacks very quietly last year.
Go, Peter.
And has 43.5 sacks over the last 4 seasons. This guy is an absolute dog. Look, a lot of great duos, a lot of great personalities. Xavier Rhodes, not the loudest guy in the league. Everson Griffin, maybe not the most well-known guy in the league.
Yeah.
If I have to pick any 2 players on any defense, I'm going with the best corner in Xavier Rhodes and maybe the best underrated pass rusher in Everson Griffin. Those are my guys.
He was in the 50s on top 100?
Yeah, 55.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
I think he's top 10.
Disrespectful.
Remember when Xavier Rhodes came to set when the Super Bowl, we're like, you're a corner? Come on, dude. You can't be guarded. You're way too
6'3",
big. Way too jacked.
Huge arms.
Looks like a tight end.
Yes.
You're right about that. Now, you mentioned something before you went into it. You said it's not the best cornerback duo, but it's funny because your mind went to that. And when I thought about scariest duos in the league, I did think cornerbacks. And maybe it's just me being a wide receiver and respecting guys that are dominant at that position. So I'm going with Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib.
Ooh.
I mean, with what they're able to do defensively, check this out. Since 2015, Marcus Peters, 19 interceptions, 55 passes defended, 55 PBUs. That's the most in the NFL. So he's not just going out there getting the interceptions, but he's also getting those pass breakups. Oftentimes, DBs can't do both, and he's one of the best at doing both. He's a 2-time Pro Bowl selection, of course, and he's young, 25 years old. So he's young, and he got that cockiness to him, which sometimes can get him in trouble, but most of the times I love it because he's out there playing at a high level. Aqib Talib, 34 interceptions. So that's 53 interceptions between the 2 guys that are ball hawks, and they go out there and hit you. They do it all. 10 career return touchdowns for Aqib Talib. That's most among active players. That's some old school Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Ed Reed stuff right there. So we don't see guys often that can do all these things. That could come up being forces on the run. That can get the PBs.
Can they do it together?
That can get the interceptions. Oh, yes, they can do it together, and they will do it together. One of my favorite movies growing up was Freddy Krueger, right? It's a Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. This is the Nightmare on Rams D. That's what it is.
Nightmare
1, 2, Marcus and Peters are coming for you.
Yeah.
3, 4, Aqib's there. Don't wear no chains no more.
Yes!
5, 6.
Go on.
They gonna get them picks. That's what it is. Listen, they are scary. DBs, they come a dime a dozen. But the DBs that can go out there and do it all, they're once every generation. These guys are on the same team.
When did you have time to write that this morning?
I did it in the commercial break.
Their nickname should be the Boiler Room. That's where Freddie would hang out, man. I'm into that. Put that glove on.
Oh, my God.
Forget about it.
I'm just
Dreams and
a little-
nightmares, baby.
You usually steer clear of crowning somebody something until you see it on the field. So I have to ask you, what makes this different?
Because we've seen these guys do it. It's their numbers. Numbers don't lie. Now, if they were young pups just got in the league, I wouldn't talk about them until they go out there and prove that they can be that. But these guys together, they've done so much on another team. So imagine what they feel like after they both got shipped away to the squad in Los Angeles.
I dig it. What's the scariest part of playing football? Like the scariest thing, other than, I guess, a return?
It's the unknown. For me, it was the unknown. Going over the middle, that ball in the air, and knowing if I don't come down with this, my team's going to be upset. But I'm most likely going to take the vicious hit over the middle.
For me, if just in football, getting sacked. Getting sacked has to be the scariest thing that can happen to you on the field. So it was easy for me to come up with my nastiest, scariest duo because it's the most productive pass rush in the game. Melvin Ingram and your boy, Joey Bosa.
The pit boss.
If you look at them as a duo, as teammates over the last 2 years, nobody has more sacks. They have 41 and a half. They're the most productive. They're the most disruptive pass rush in the entire league. And there's just nothing scarier than that. Mr. Bosa has more sacks through 20 games than any player in NFL history. He has 19 sacks. in his first 20 games.
That's crazy.
And it's, you know, I love Schrags, and you put it so well. I couldn't think of a better way than like yin and yang.
Yeah.
How do they work together? And it's not two really great guys who do the same thing. They're actually different. And Melvin Ingram explained it in his own words at the Super Bowl.
I like it.
What is your relationship like with Bosa? Because we love Bosa here.
We got a great relationship, really. I feel like what makes us so good together is because we're so different.
Okay.
Really, he more of a technician, and I go more off of athletic ability, which kind of like works hand in hand, really. Because I feel like if we both were technicians, then you got two technicians.
Right.
But we got two different styles, so when we switch, it's like you getting two different styles of rushing.
Yeah.
All game.
The technician and the raw talent. Love them. They're terrifying.
How cool is Melvin Ingram?
He's the best.
He's the coolest.
You know what's terrifying too? Bosa's 22 years old.
No.
22 still.
And missed his first training camp. Basically, it was
possible.
rolled out there.
But does he have a rap mixtape like Melvin Ingram called Franchise Tag? Nope.
No,
You know
not
what's
yet.
funny about Bosa is when he came out, there were all these comparisons to J.J. Watt, right? People
Yeah.
say, oh, I hate comparisons.
Yeah.
I hate. Look at him. He does look like a young J.J. Watt out there. He's a monster.
Yeah, and the other comparison you get, you'd be like, he's defensive Gronk. Like, they're this party boy.
Right.
He's not. He's very quiet, very low profile.
Yeah.
And wait till the world gets to meet Nick Bosa next year,
Yeah.
his younger bro, who could be the top pick.
Yeah.
The Bosas
Really?
are taking
Love
over.
that.
Yeah, Nick could be better. We don't know. I'm going to go back to the corners, though. I got to do it. I'm going to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars corner tandem, and because we love these guys. So let's get out of the way. We're talking about Jalen and A.J. Boye, all right? It's yin and yang again. Let's talk about Jalen is everything we like as the show. He's young, he's cool, he's a great player, he's got personality. If you've never watched us talk about him before, we figured out something about Jalen, that he has a little gesture that he does, almost like a little thing that sums up his whole personality, where he's talking, and it'll just go like that. Like he'd be like, hey, Jalen, what happened out there? You know, it got a little intense, and it'll just go, and that just sums up everything. Yeah. I got to talk to him at NFL Honors backstage, and I tried to get him to do it. I did my own version of it. You guys can judge whether or not he reciprocated. Watch.
You guys produced a lot last year with Jacksonville. Here at Good Morning Football, we talk about you all the time. I think of all these images of you doing your little shoulder, doing the little swag. You know what I'm saying? That's you. Looking at 2018, though, what are those images going to look like that year? What do you want them to look like next year?
You know, we're going to keep having our same swag, our same energy, our same juice. But hopefully we make it to the big game and able to win that thing.
He called it a thing there. He called it something else before. But he did it a little bit, right?
Why are you so serious?
I don't know. Like he was very serious.
You were a very silent reporter.
I went into a different mode there. You know, I got gears. And here's the thing. As much as we love Jalen and we love everything he does, let me give you a couple of numbers. Last year, lowest passer rating against for corners. When the quarterback throws at you, lowest passer. Number 2 in all the football is Jalen Ramsey, 57.9. Number 1,
Talk about it.
A.J. Boye, way ahead of him. Number 1 and number 2. And A.J. was way ahead. And I look at these two. Sometimes you'll see whether it's partners or brothers in the world and pop culture. There's the rock star, and then there's sort of like the more laid-back thinking man. I'm talking Thor and Loki, Sherlock and Watson, Charlie and Emilio, Penn and Teller, Schrager and Burleson. You guys understand what I mean. There's always one who's a little more of a thinking man. That's A.J. Boye, undrafted guy. Jalen is huge draft pick. Boye is the guy who's a reader. He's into The Alchemist. He's into the 4 agreements, the thinking man's corner. So it's almost like the cool lead guitarist and like the laid-back bassist. And by the way, that bassist is putting up numbers. So young, so good. Love these two.